Nakedness used as punishment is not discipline. It is sexualized humiliation. It violates bodily dignity. It can lead to trauma, depression, anxiety, social withdrawal, and suicidal thoughts. People, no community should normalize this. No. A person can be corrected without being exposed. A person can be held accountable without being dehumanized. And then, after all this comes, then comes a forced forgiveness without accountability. My people, in as much as forgiveness is powerful, when it is freely chosen, when it comes out of your mind, but forced forgiveness is spiritual and emotional manipulation. Okay? It is. Sometimes people are told, just forgive. Just forgive and move on. But nobody asks the offender to confess. Nobody asks the offender to repair, to change, or take responsibility of their ugly actions. And that is not reconciliation. That is emotional bypassing. True repair, people, true repair requires accountability. It requires truth. It requires safety. It requires changed behavior. So forgiveness should never be used to rush a victim out of their pain. No, it's a process. It has to come out from the mind, not putting elders gathered and telling somebody to forgive. Another cultural harm being perpetuated is elders mediating harm secretly after public damage. Oh yes. So you see, why community mediation can be valuable. Traditional leadership can be meaningful when it is fair, when it is transparent and protective. But when a person is publicly humiliated and the apology happens secretly, justice becomes unequal. Oh yes. The harm was public for Christ's sake. The shame was public. The video was public. The whole community witnessed the disgrace. So why should the apology be hidden and private? Why? If public harm has occurred, public repair may also be necessary. Not for entertainment, but for dignity. Okay? For dignity. You see, people, protecting powerful people because of their title, because of their age, because of the money they have or their status is another serious issue we are having in our communities. Oh yes. The idea of, oh, we all grew up together, so somebody can actually cut your body, put something you don't know about into you, and yet they will want you to forgive by force. You know, some people cannot just be challenged because they are chiefs, because they are pastors, because they are elders or wealthy relatives, community leaders, or important people. No, you cannot challenge them. But power does not cancel wrongdoing. No, it does not, my people. A title is not a shield against accountability. When people with status are protected, the vulnerable learn that their pain does not matter. Oh yes. So you see all this public disgrace and secret apology, it has to stop. So now let's bring this home, fellas. Cultural harm does not only affect the body, it affects the nervous system. When people are publicly humiliated, beaten, silenced, or controlled, their body may begin to live in survival mode. They may struggle with anxiety, depression, emotional numbness, anger, shame, hypervigilance. They'll start having distrust or difficulty forming healthy relationship. Fellows, trauma is not only what happened. Trauma is also what happened inside the person after they were left alone with the pain. Okay? And when a community says, do not talk about it, the wound even goes deeper, because healing requires witnessing. Healing requires validation of that pain. Healing requires safety. Healing requires the truth. So we must change. Okay? We must change. And these are a couple of ways we must change this tradition, this culture. We must stop calling abuse discipline, because discipline corrects behavior while abuse destroys dignity. We must stop using culture to silence victims. Culture should protect the harm, not the harmful. Oh yes. Stop confusing age with wisdom. An elder can be respected and still be corrected. Why not? Who says an elder cannot be corrected? That has to stop. Okay? And then stop settling public harm secretly. Where harm was public, repair must be visible enough to restore dignity. Okay? We should stop using shame as a community weapon. Shame does not heal people. It breaks people. It destroys people. We must abstain from shaming. And then we must stop protecting image over truth. A family image built on silence is not honor. It is fear. It is control. We must stop asking victims to forgive before they are safe to do so. Safety must come first before reconciliation. We cannot force people with culture to forgive. And then stop treating accountability as disrespect. No. Accountability is not rebellion. Accountability is responsibility. Okay? So everybody should be held accountable if they do anything wrong. So my lovelies, let me end with this. Culture is not supposed to be a hiding place for harm. No. And respect is not supposed to silence pain. Forgiveness is not supposed to erase accountability. No. Family is not supposed to protect abusers and abandon the victims. Tradition is not supposed to dehumanize people. No. If it strips people of dignity, it is harm. If it silences victims, it is harm. If it protects the powerful and punishes the vulnerable, it is harm. If it forces people to suffer quietly for the sake of image, it is harm. And we must stop calling all this culture, because it is not. Culture should protect our humanity and not destroy it. And that is how we honor our ancestors properly. Not by repeating every harmful thing that was passed down from generation to generation, but by us having the courage to heal what they could not heal themselves. So that idea of destroying somebody's life in the public and then going behind secretly to apologize and thinking that has resolved everything must stop. That is not culture, people. Or that act of, after you destroy somebody's life publicly, you've stripped them of their dignity as a human being, and then you think just gathering elders and then looking for one a respectable person to mediate has, will end everything. No. What of the person who went through that harm? What of the person who went through that dehumanization? What of the person that was stripped of their own dignity? Or even the people who heard it and advocated for them? Sorry does not always change the situation or heal people. Like I said, it acknowledges it, but it does not heal that harm that you've already caused. And then we cannot continue to force people to accept apologies when they don't feel safe or when they are still in pain. Okay? That culture of, is an elder, let's listen. That culture must stop. Because being an elder does not mean it is wisdom. Because our parents tolerated it does not mean we have to continue and then pass it to the next generation. So fellas, if this message spoke to you, please share it. Share it not to attack culture, but to heal it. So until I see you all again, my lovelies, take good care of yourself. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Stay strong and continue to stay free.